What up, guys? Another episode of UniFiTV. I'm here with Rico.
What's up?
Today we're going to be talking about cash flow. Today's episode we're going to be focusing on cash flow and specifically maintaining a positive cash flow. Rico here at UniFi, his main job is to help his vendors and clients with cash flow. So tell us just a little bit about what you do and how you help your clients with cash flow.
So what I do is I help businesses acquire equipment by utilizing only making monthly payments, which what that does for companies is they don't have to use their cash flow right up front and put all their capital towards buying new equipment. They're able to cash flow it out, make monthly payments. That way, when they're building or when they have an asset, they don't just push all their money. They're slowly making payments on it. And what that also does is in the technology vertical, they're able to upgrade their equipment as soon as they need new equipment. Say they only do new systems for 3 years. At the end of those 3 years, they're able to renew and kind of get some new equipment in their company, which technology is changing every day. And so what that does is that really helps them versus being stuck with old equipment that they used all their money up front for, so they've got to wait and start saving money to make that next purchase.
So would you say that companies find it a lot easier to pay for their day-to-day operations when they finance because they have the flexibility in their cash flow so that not so much is going out at one point?
Right, exactly. So they find that they can pay their employees, they can pay their monthly payments. It's kind of just like paying an electric bill, a water bill. You're just making those monthly payments, and they're going to the bottom line, but you're not pushing all that money up front, which gives them flexibility to make other purchases as well. A lot of my customers as well, sometimes there's other options or attachments they can get with their equipment, and when you say their monthly payment is X and it's only $5 more a month to get the attachments, they go with the attachments just because they can focus on making that monthly payment instead of paying all of that up front.
How does financing and specifically positive cash flow help make a business more stable and more profitable in general?
Okay, yeah. So, for example, when people buy either a copier, a telephone system, some new software, that software that they're using for their company increases their cash flow. And it also increases their profitability because what they're doing is they're using that software to create revenue. And instead of paying all the money up front for that software, they're streaming out monthly payments. So if anything does come up, they still have that capital to use for other equipment, anything that goes on in the company. So what it does is it lets you stream out payments. So you're not using all your cash flow, which gives the company kind of a security and not as much risk by using all your capital up front.
Is there a situation where companies will find themselves in a situation where they've just purchased a large piece of equipment and now they don't have enough liquid cash to pay for their day-to-day expenses?
Oh yeah, that happens all the time. For instance, some construction companies, they'll need a excavator, a bulldozer, a lift, and sometimes if they go and they buy a new one and they use all their capital for that,
right,
they don't know.
Like, I'm not trying to say the company's not profitable. Let's say like they have a lot of business, they're doing a lot of business, they just haven't. I guess in my scenario, your construction company, does a lot of business, but then hasn't actually collected on the bills yet, so they haven't received the money for their work, and so would it be easy for them to find themselves in a situation where they're waiting for people to pay for their work, but in the meantime, they buy a new piece of equipment and it's so expensive that they run out of just cash to pay for their day-to-day expenses?
Yep. Yeah, that's happened. Actually, a lot of construction jobs and construction companies will go and sometimes they'll buy a new piece of equipment thinking they're going to be bidding on some jobs that they're going to do, and meanwhile they're using expenses for day-to-day activities, and I mean just a day-to-day operations, where if they don't win those bids and they're not getting any jobs, they're going to run out of money really quick. And since they've already purchased the equipment, that's when the cash flow really, I mean, it really helps out by paying monthly payments and utilizing the finance.
So I guess my last question to you would be, for people, and this is a very common train of thought, for people who say, I don't like the idea of being in debt. I think it's like risky. There's just a lot of, obviously, whatever the collateral is, I don't want that taken away. And it's safer for me to save up over a year or two maybe, and just pay for a large piece of equipment with cash. So what would you respond to a business owner who says that, who's just very hesitant to get in debt?
Right. And I mean, I've heard that before. I've heard people say I only pay cash for all my things, all my equipment for all my businesses. I've heard, I don't like being in debt. I don't want to be in debt to anybody. And really, I mean, everybody makes an electric bill payment. Everybody pays the water bill. Those are all monthly payments. And a majority of the people nowadays finance their cars, lease their cars. So they really know that making a monthly payment does make a huge difference. Sometimes people don't realize that they've done that. So you just kind of remind them, you've probably leased or financed your car and made monthly payments. But really, you're leaving money on the table when you're saving for an equipment. Say you are finance, or you want to save up for some new software, some new technology. The time you're using to save up for that amount, you're losing money because you're not able to utilize that new equipment now to start making profit. Instead, you're waiting, and then you're going to put the money down, which you could potentially, by that time, that technology or that software could be outdated. The type of leads or sales you could have made could be gone now.
All right. Thank you, Rico. We always value your expertise and advice here on UniFiTV. This was going to be the end of the video. Just a quick rundown on cash flow and how cash flow is so important to your business and why financing is a good way to help maintain a positive cash flow. We'll be back tomorrow with a new video coming at you. So hope to see you there. Comment below on what you think. Peace.
Obsessed with your success.